Najee Harris goes off on his Pittsburgh Steelers teammates and coaches and saying ways that they need to be better. So, it's been 2 weeks basically since the Steelers season ended, and I went back and I looked at the Najee Harris interview that he did to close out the season, and he spoke some truth and he spoke some facts and gave his advice moving forward on how this team could get better. So, here's what he had to say if you didn't see it already, and just my thoughts in general on the topic. So, Najee Harris, he was asked about the Steelers' discipline and strong structure and what they need to do moving forward to improve stuff. And this is what he had to say. Here's his quotes. In-house rules, not changes in our coaches, the rules that are in our building. We gotta be more disciplined. We gotta be more committed. I'm not saying that we're not, but just coming from a place that has structure. Just seeing we probably could get help in these areas. It might change something. That's something that could help. I'm not saying nothing about coaches or anything like that. More of in-house rules, that's all I'm saying. End quote. So here's another quote later on that I'll kind of explain and go over that he said, but just breaking down that one, if you just watch it or you just listen to it or read it, whatever, you could tell that he's frustrated because the Steelers obviously just lost that game to the Bills, and then he was talking in the media about their performance and what they could do better. So you could hear his frustration, you could kind of read his frustration in the quotes. And he's coming from a place where he wants to get better, and it's right after the game, so he doesn't want to throw anyone under the bus, which obviously leads to him kind of contradicting himself in some type of way because he's trying to say that the Steelers need better in-house rules, they need better discipline, but at the same time, he's saying, I'm not saying this about our team, but obviously he's implying it in a way that he's not going to get backlash from his teammates and he's not going to get backlash in the media, but he wants to be that captain of the team that speaks up in certain situations, and he's trying to put it through the media in a way that isn't going to harm his team moving forward. So I applaud him for the way he did it in a way that there was no negativity in this quote. When you look at it, there was no kind of articles or stories written about, oh, Najee Harris exposes his teammates and kind of backlashes his team. He's not happy with his team. There was nothing like that. This quote was taken in a way where they need to get better in certain areas, and Najee Harris obviously sees it. So, he also had another quote, and I'm going to give it to you right now. Here it is. I have my opinions on things, but I'm just a player. But if you want to elevate where we're at, there's some in-house things that need to change. Coach T always tells me just to play running back. That's a little inside thing that we have. But if we want to elevate and achieve those goals that we want, we gotta have change some in-house stuff. But like I said, that's not my place. That's not anything I can control. End quote. So once again, you hear Najee Harris saying that stuff needs to be changed, but in his first quote, he's basically saying that I'm not saying this about our team, but obviously he's implying about their team, and he's kind of calling out his coaches and calling out his teammates in a way that's acceptable. And he's doing this from a good place. He's not doing this in a place of madness where he's trying to be mean or kind of put all the blame on his teammates for losing. That's not what he's doing. He's trying to do it in a way in which they could actually improve as a team next season and succeed. So you look at Najee Harris in this last quote that I just read. Obviously, that means that Mike Tomlin is telling him just to play running back. Don't worry about the other stuff. Just do your role, play running back, and things will happen. Obviously, he's coming from a place where he wants to be the outspoken leader. He wants to be the leader of the team, and he sees himself as a captain. I'm pretty sure he was a captain 2 seasons ago as well. So you look at it, and he's a vocal leader. He's someone who could help this team not only on the field, but off the field. And he feels as though things need to change in that kind of perspective. And the things I think he's talking about in terms of discipline that they need to change is just being and doing the right things routinely. That's what Mike Tomlin always goes through. Doing the right things and doing the good things routinely. So then there's not mistakes and the easy things don't become hard. So you look at it and maybe you look at those penalties the Steelers get. Maybe there he's talking about the penalties and the bad penalties that they get that throw them off. They need to be more disciplined in that area. Or maybe he's talking about off the field stuff in terms of practice. They need to be more disciplined on the practice field, which obviously practice makes perfect. So maybe he's talking about that, but he's not really giving much in-depth answer of what he means by discipline, so I can only really guess what he means. But if I had to guess, it would be one of those two stuff, either on the field, those penalties and stuff like that, just the right assignments as well. Make sure you don't miss your assignments, because as we seen at the beginning of the season, all the way up until week 8, Najee Harris couldn't get anything going on the run game, and that's because the offensive linemen were missing their assignments. Maybe he's talking about Mason Cole always snapping bad passes, being undisciplined in that area, and not getting better. Who knows? He could be talking about anything in terms of undisciplined and that they need to improve in-house rules. But if you think about it, he's talking about in-house rules need to change. But Mike Tomlin has been there for like 17 seasons now. I truly doubt that anything will change in terms of the in-house rules. Obviously, the Steelers usually do stuff a certain way with their players, with their coaches, and all the way from management. They do it in a certain way, and I really doubt now, after all this time, and after all this time of Mike Tomlin being there, that things are just going to change in terms of the in-house rules. But obviously Najee Harris sees that things could change and he wants to do it for the betterment of the team. But who knows what the change could be that he's talking about? You could really only guess. But the Steelers moving forward, they need a path forward in a way in which their team could improve. Their coaches have changed somewhat. It looks like their offense coordinator and quarterbacks coach are both going to be gone. Those are some big components of the offense. So even though he said he's not really talking about coaching changes, those are two coaching changes that will be happening, that will be different, that the Steelers will have. So maybe those two guys being gone and new guys coming in. There's also new guys that the DB assistant coach and stuff of that nature, the strength and conditioning coach leaving, retiring after 27 years, I believe it was. So many people are leaving. More people are coming in. So maybe with that change in terms of new people coming in, maybe what Najee Harris is talking about in some of the discipline areas and in-house rules will change naturally over time with those new people coming into the building. But with that being said, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on what Najee Harris means and your thoughts on him kind of calling out his teammates and coaches for being undisciplined in that kind of area, and doing it as a way to help the team. He's not doing it in a way to hurt the team. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on what exactly he could mean by those comments and what you think they need to change moving forward in that area. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content analysis reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well, so you can get notified whenever I post next Steelers video. I post every single day, so if you want to stay updated with everything Pittsburgh Steelers news through the off season now, since the regular season over, this is the spot for it. I'm also going to be doing film breakdowns and reactions, so turn notifications for the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and I want to start doing more videos like this, kind of interpreting what the Steelers could improve on next season, free agency, the draft, and stuff of that nature. So I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.